Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy JP with twocoastcustoms.com, and again, it's always been a while since I did last video, but anyway, lately I've been working on just really getting into foam building and trying to figure out different tips and tricks, things to make it easier, and also to add a lot more detail to the sculpts and different objects that we make. So I stumbled upon a technique, and I really wanted to make a video on it because it's pretty cool, and you can get some good detailed effects with it. So I'm going to show you how I can get these fine details in here without like really getting nasty foam marks and stuff like that. And I've got some scrap foam here, and I'll be able to show you guys the process. So I'm going to zoom in, and then we'll do a little tutorial. Thanks for watching, guys. Alright. Alright. First thing you want to do is get a scrap piece of foam, because you're going to want to practice this a few times. It's really not that difficult, but foam isn't cheap, and you don't want to waste it if you don't have to. So I'm just using a bigger piece here. We are going to kind of waste it, but it'll be easier to show in the video. Alright, now the details on the shoulder there, I found these brass stencils were nice to use on the shoulder bell there. You don't need brass stencils. You don't need stencils at all, really, but I wanted a uniform look to it, because this is going to be molded and cast in hard material. But you can use different types of stencils. I like these filigrees. I found these at Hobby Lobby, and they're just a few bucks a piece, so worth having. Gives me ideas of how I might like to make a pattern and such. But just to give you an example, we will we'll use this pattern here. Okay. Now, the way I like to do this is trace it on the foam first. So let's just go ahead and do that. It's pretty straightforward. I use a pencil. Just lightly run around it. Don't push it real hard. You can if you want, but it's not a big deal. So now keep in mind, when you're tracing your pattern, your stencil is going to be smaller when you pull this off, because you're tracing on the inside of the stencil. That's fine. The more you press your blade into the foam, whenever you use the heat gun, which I'm going to explain, that the further it's going to expand out from where you cut. So if you want it more defined, don't go as deep. If you want a bigger, wider edge, then go a little deeper. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just kind of roughly traced in there. Alright. Now, what you want to do is you need a really sharp blade to do this. I'm just using my X-Acto knife and a sharpener here, and I'll go ahead and zoom in. You can kind of see a little better. Alright, I suggest sharpening this very often as you go. Mine has a coarse and a fine. I use the coarse and then the fine mostly. So you're using mostly this tip, so you need it really sharp. So anyway, we're just going to do the triangles. Now keep in mind, whenever you cut into this thing, get your lines right, because when you hit it with the heat gun, it's going to expand however you cut the lines. So that's why I say use a practice piece, and then and I'll show you what I mean. I'll show you over here. Like, let's say I want to intersect this line here. I would rather start at this line and come out. That way my corner is 90 degrees, as opposed to come to this line like this, because if I come over and pass it, I'll show you what it's going to do with the heat gun. It's not going to look as good. Alright, so let's trace our pattern here. And I feel my blade kind of dragging just a little bit, so I'll just make that point sharp again. And I'll go ahead and do this. Make this easier to work for me. So, just keep your blade sharp. It's the key thing. Especially when you go into these really round shapes, you really want your blade to slide through the foam. You really don't want to have to saw it, but when you get into these tight corners, I just go up and down and make sure I stay on that pattern, and it usually comes out alright. So. Okay, now I'm not going to trace all these because you'll get the point. But what we'll do is we'll make our own kind of design here. Let's say we just wanted to sketch something. I'll just do like a V. Okay. Another little trick here too is if you cut at a deep angle, it'll give you another look as well. So I'll show you. I'm going to cut this at a 45-degree angle and go kind of deep on both sides here. And keep your blade sharp. And like I said, play with this because the different amount of heat you use will make it look different, and you'll see. So now we got some of our shapes traced. I'm not going to trace all these because you'll get the point. But anyway, take your heat gun and don't put it on high. You don't want to burn this stuff up, because multiple passes will make this look a little differently. So what we'll do is we'll put it on low. Alright, and you see our pattern here. Now we're just going to kind of go back and forth over it. A few times. You see it's getting a little more defined. That's because those voids are expanding. Okay. The more heat you put to it, the more they'll expand. I'm using low so I don't burn the foam right off. But the more heat you put, the more defined it'll get. Now, 45-degree cuts here, watch this. And this doesn't look too good, but that's where our blade kind of skipped up, so we could just slice that. Put the heat back to it. And it'll keep expanding. Now with those wide cuts, the more heat you put on it, the outsides really get a lot wider and stretch further from what you actually cut. So that'll give you a different look. Now, as far as the intersecting lines, I'll show you what happens. Wherever you cut is going to expand. So you see, if you overcut like that, it's going to give you that ugly mark where you passed it up. So anyway, I thought this technique is really cool, and it's helping me on material armor I'm building. So you see, we put a little more heat, and it's stretching a little more and a little more. Now, when you get it how you want, you know, obviously stop the heat. Don't keep heating it up. But yeah, pretty cool. So. And then obviously, if you want to see how it kind of looks, you put your little paint on it. Dry brush a little gold. Just kind of show you. So maybe that could give you a little better view of how it looks. Here's the another piece I had done the other day. Okay, there we go. Gonna show the details. So. Camera almost makes it kind of look grainy. But anyway, those are kind of rushed, but take your time and basically take your time and just keep the blade sharp. You can get them looking pretty crispy. So, and this is it's a little leaf pattern I did with that brass stencil, and that's literally just tracing it. It's not picking up too good. That's literally just kind of tracing it and then hitting it with the heat gun. It works pretty good. It's a little black spot because it got a little too hot right there, but it didn't change the texture, it just changed the color, so we're good. So